Alrighty, hey everyone. I'm back again. It's been a little while since the Stone Golem character, but I am back with a new character that I've kind of been theory crafting for the last like half day. This is a character that I'll plan to try to make in Harvest. We'll see how it goes. Basically, if you can't tell already, the premise of this character is to make as high of a life character as feasibly possible. The one main difference is I actually want to try to make this character viable and actually capable of running maps and doing most bosses. So this is kind of what I've devised with the nearly pretty much best gear and perfect setup. This character actually has about 19,000 life and still does some damage through Herald of Agony. So the way I started this character was pretty much I initially just spec'd to try to get all the life I could, and then I try to figure out, what's the best way for me to, what's the best possible skill I can use that doesn't really require a lot of scaling and that can at least dish out some damage to be able to just run some maps. So I tried a number of things. I tried looking at like a righteous fire totem thing using chieftain. I tried before actually in a different league. I ended up playing a body swap totem character that had like 12,000 life, but I wanted to go higher. So I kind of knew I really had no choice but to end on Herald of Agony because really the skill doesn't require lots of investment. If you can see on my tree here, I practically have nothing invested into actual offense, so it's mainly all life. So that's what I landed on, Herald of Agony. The main thing that you can see here is this looks really similar to a Hoa jug tree. So it basically looks quite similar to a Herald of Agony juggernaut. However, the main reason why I didn't end up going juggernaut is because it's an ascendancy that's not useful unless you spec into endurance charges. And the issue with Jug is these endurance charges cost me 6 points, so 2, 4, 6, to get these three here. 6 points there. The next thing is typically you'd want to run at least one Combs Way, if not two. So that's two ring slots sacrificed. And in addition to that, by not going Scion or Ascendant, I'm losing out on another 7 skill points. So if I just, 7 plus 6, so I'm losing out on 13 skill points. In addition to that, the endurance charges don't actually give any life. They just, it's just a lot of life regen, which again wasn't the focus for this build that I've made here. So that's why I didn't end up going with Jug, even though most characters with this style of build do Juggernaut. I've ended up on Scion. And reason being I ended up on Scion, again, the points that I previously mentioned is number one, it gives me more skill points, and it's still also a useful ascendancy. So I picked up Necromancer because offering skills also affect you. It helps out the Herald of Agony a little bit. And I've also picked up Chieftain. This is simply for the 10% increased strength and 2% life regen. Otherwise, Chieftain does nothing besides those two things, but still, it's an extra bit of regen and an extra bit of strength, which means life, so not too bad, and Path of the Marauder. Path of the Marauder grants me 2 passive points, and it also saves me 2 passive points. So this node right here saves me 4 passive skill points. So, and the name of the game really when stacking life is just pretty much pick up all the skill points on the tree, life nodes on the tree, and that's basically what I've done here. So pretty much the entire left half side of the tree, every single life node I have allocated, besides a few. So I don't have any of the blood magic nodes allocated. Pretty simple reason for this is you can't run Herald of Agony with blood magic in any way. Mortal Conviction does not actually work with Herald of Agony because Herald of Agony is not an aura. I tried it and it didn't work. So Mortal Conviction doesn't work with Herald of Agony. So that's out. So I couldn't go blood magic, so that's kind of the two big life nodes I couldn't get there. And then the second one I just couldn't pick up is Cruel Prep. It's just too far away for 6 points and 20% life. There's just better things for me to pick up than that. Even Purity of Flesh, which same amount of points, but same percent life, but it gives me Chaos Res and some Strength. So I wasn't able to pick up Cruel Preparation as well. Otherwise, every other life node I pretty much have picked up. In addition, I'm running 3 Might of the Meeks, pretty much all centered around the Constitution Wheel. This makes 5 of these nodes give 10% life, scales up the life regen, scales up the resistances, and up here I'm just running an anatomical knowledge because there's quite a bit of intelligence in this area. Every other jewel socket is basically what I'm planning to do is just have a life, minion damage, and then maybe some resists or strength there. The only offense on this tree is this one node, Elemental Equilibrium, and in addition to that, this medium cluster jewel, and that's all the damage I have on the entire tree. Everything else is life. So Disciples and Pure Agony, this just beefs up the Herald of Agony a little bit, and it essentially negates the nerf we had this patch where they nerfed it from 12% increased fizz down to 9%. So they nerfed Herald of Agony again. Not sure why, because it hasn't been used as much since the first nerf, where it went from 19 to 12%, but for some reason now they decided to nerf it again from 12 to 9%, so kind of a big hit. But it gains 5 max virulence, which kind of makes up for that. And the Disciples makes us lose virulence 30% slower, which is nice. And this medium cluster jewel is also quite nice because it just goes straight into a 3-wheel life node. In this case, I took Fettle. You can also actually take Surging Vitality, which is pretty nice, but for the life regen. But in terms of pure life, Fettle is the best one. I think that's pretty much it with the tree. So 350% increased life on the tree. Obviously, this is a endgame level 100 Scion. There's a couple glaring issues. Number one, the dex. The dex is going to be a major headache. 160 dex. I'm going to have to get pretty much all that on gear. So primarily the 2 rings and the belt. Probably going to have to get dex on those things somehow, some way, or the amulet. Other issue kind of is mana. I'm running the Herald of Agony on a 3-link with Empower, Pierce, Awaken Vicious Projectiles. The reason why I'm not using damage on full life is because it's too much. It's too much mana. So as you can see, it unreserved. It leads me to pretty much no unreserved mana. So it doesn't. I can't actually fit it, so I'm just going with an Empower 4. Next best thing, I suppose. In a helmet, which will ideally be a +3 minion gems with level 20 minion damage. So, yeah. And that's going to be where I get the damage from. This is just on the triggered weapon, so in this case, just a scepter here. Actually a pretty obtainable scepter, 60% minion damage with multi-modded trigger and just a minion attack speed, so nothing too special there. After that, the hatred setup, so hatred, awaken generosity with a level 4 enlighten, which again it leaves my my mana pretty tight. Then I'm considering either using Stormbrand or Ball Lightning. I'm not entirely sure which one. If I take Stormbrand, I'd have to take Runebinder, which is 4 points, which is a little annoying because I probably have to end up dropping like this Utmost Might Wheel and one of these life nodes over here. So for now, I'm going to probably end up trying Ball Lightning with Spell Echo, Poison, Faster Casting, and see how that works. So the shield is just a heaping amount of life and percent max life shield. I doubt I'll be able to actually hit the recover 5% of life on block. That's just hoping for a little bit too much. So this is kind of like a mirror tier shield. I'm not going to get this. The helmet, again, it's also something that I'm definitely not going to have anything near this good, but hopefully I'll have at least 3/4 of these stats, which would be nice. So life with some amount of strength, with the minion damage, with the +3 minion gems or +2 minion gems, something like that would be ideal. And then obviously comes heart. I decided to go with Grip the Council because it's just this is the other piece where I go a little more on the offense because the minions gain 20% of Fizz's extra cold. So again, it just kind of adds a little bit of cold damage to the Herald of Agony dude, and it just makes Elemental Equilibrium stronger since I now have this plus the hatred. Everything else is literally just life, strength, resist gear where I can get it. The resists, I might have to kind of play around with that a little bit, but I'm also going to have to get dex on these pieces, so that's going to be the main thing there. I could potentially also kind of go here and spec out of these two if I really need, if I'm really short on resists. That can also be something I can potentially do. But yeah, that is this crazy, insanely high life Ascendant. I'm not sure how the survivability would be. Obviously, I'm not taking Jug. I'm not taking endurance charges, so that's a pretty big hit on survivability. However, I mean the build will have a unimaginable amount of life, and probably somewhere around I'd say 2,500 life regen, 2,000 to 2,500. I'm definitely not going to get 19,000 life. That's just like insane. I'm assuming I'll probably, if I'm maybe level, I don't know, 96, 97, with imperfect gear, I'm guessing I'll probably land somewhere between 16 to 17,000 life. I don't think I'm going to get up to 19,000. That's like, this is again like best possible version. But still, in any case, pretty crazy build. I'm gonna have to again iron out these little imperfections with the mana, the dex. But yeah, this is one build that I've just created for Harvest. We'll see too. Maybe the crafting options will actually allow some of these items that I need to be made. Maybe it might make it possible. I don't know. Looking at some of those crafting options where it literally says turn one life roll into a different life roll. So who knows? Maybe maybe it'll open up for some pretty insane possibilities. But yeah, this is the tree. It's a 19,000 life Herald of Agony Scion, which should actually be viable. The main thing with you can go on PoE Ninja right now, and I think there's one character right now that has like 18,000 life or something. But the issue is every single character I've seen that has above like 17,000 life is that the character doesn't actually function. They don't have skills. They don't have any attacks or And they don't even have any like skill gems socketed or anything. It's just kind of a meme character for showing off like high numbers. But basically, what I again tried to do is create the highest life possible while actually having a working and character that can actually clear maps. So that's what I've kind of been working on here. Anyways, I'll put the POB of this down below. Oh, one thing I do want to mention is I did take a look at trying to use Calamitous Visions, which gives Lone Messenger. However, it doesn't really work. It doesn't really work too well because, first of all, I'd lose Hatred, which would make the Elemental Equilibrium do less damage. And then it's just it ends up not really being better than this these couple wheels right here. So I decided not to go with a Lone Messenger on this version of the build. So I just didn't really see how it didn't really fit into the build. Well, I kind of tried to put it here, but didn't really work out. But this is what I've ended up with. 19,000 life with a somewhat functional Herald of Agony. Oh, the other final issue is I can't actually fit Convocation, which is another one of those little small issues that I'm somehow going to have to iron out. My guess is I'm going to have to drop one of the Vermilion rings and actually pick up an unset ring just to fit Convocate. Because maybe I can drop faster casting, but then it would feel pretty bad. But I don't know. That's just one of those things where I'd have to kind of consider. But anyways, I'll put the POB for this in the description below. If you guys have any questions, just go ahead, hit me up in the comments, and I'll if you guys find any like better versions, or if you happen to notice something that can be improved, or maybe get a little more life or something like that, just hit me up, let me know. I'll be definitely down to take a look at it. I guess that's it for the build. In other news, I changed the name of the channel. It was using my like Google name that I didn't really change for a while or didn't even care about. So I decided to actually switch it to a kind of a nickname that I'm known for. So I switched it to Boggy Woggy. So I think it's a nice little channel name. But anyways, I think that's about it. That's all I have. Delirium League ended up working out really well. I really liked Delirium League. It was a pretty fun league. It didn't mesh exactly well with the Stone Golem character, but nevertheless, the Stone Golem character was able to far surpass my expectations. I still kind of have it right here. Here it is. It's pretty. Turned out to be a very, very strong character. Probably honestly one of the strongest characters I've ever made. And was really pleased with how everything turned out in this character. So if this character is anything to base it off of, who knows? Maybe I'll be able to make this crazy 19,000 Scion build work out. So yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, though, I won't be able to play a lot. I'm still in the middle of my term, so I have actually a lot of exams and practicals coming up as usual. They're pretty much never ending. So I'll probably play, obviously, on the day league launch. I'll be playing. I'll also probably play a little bit over the weekend, but then probably starting Sunday, I'll have quite a bit of things to do. So this build will be a slow-going process. So yeah. Anyways, that's about it. Thank you guys for tuning in and yeah, seeing this pretty disgusting 19,000 life Scion. Again, probably only going to realistically be 17,000, I'm guessing, but we'll see how far maybe we can take it. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching. See you guys on the next video.